McGregor has been out of action since breaking his leg in a fight against Dustin Poirier. With all this free time, he's thinking hard about his future. He once said he wants all the belts in the UFC, so maybe the charge has started, because he has revealed that his next destination could be the middleweight division. In this video, we'll talk about McGregor's middleweight dream and much more. Let's begin. First up, McGregor announced his wish on Twitter. McGregor took to Twitter to tell the world what he's thinking about his UFC future. It was just an average Conor McGregor day on the Bird app as he posted this tweet and deleted it later. He said it's 100% certain that he will be competing in the 185-pound division at some stage. Since being on the sidelines, McGregor has gained a lot of weight. He was 155 pounds at the time of his injury, and now his weight has jumped to just over 190 pounds. Maybe watching himself gain all this weight made him think he could join the middleweight division. He further added that, "I'm a big fridge at middleweight, but hot like an oven at the same time." Classic McGregor. The Irishman said that it's gonna take a lot of hard work and determination to make this jump to middleweight division, but he knows what to do. He has been putting in the work for many years in the division, but we're not sure if he'll be able to make this switch. He is a former two-weight world champion and has won championships in the featherweight division and the lightweight division, but he's also competed 3 times in the welterweight division. He plans to maintain a weight of 170 pounds for his return to MMA and only plans to fight in the middleweight division. A good decision? You tell us. Next up, will he be a good fit in the middleweight division? Yes, McGregor plans on making the switch to the middleweight, but the question is, will he be a good fit for the division? We don't think so. Height-wise, he'll be a small fighter there. The Irishman stands at 5'9", which is too small, even for the welterweight division. He'll be considered a very tiny fighter in the middleweight division, so he can gain all the weight in the world, but his height is something that he can't control and won't be able to increase it. Maybe he's aware of this too and still is keen on making the switch, who knows. Also, his fellow fighter, Renato Moisano, who fights in the lightweight division, has labeled McGregor as delusional after learning about his wishes. He responded to McGregor's tweet and said, "Imagine being that delusional. He'll come up against some big and heavy fighters in the middleweight division and he might struggle against those guys." Maybe Moisano was trying to save McGregor from getting embarrassment in the division by tweeting what he said. We surely don't want to see a superstar like him being thrown left, right, and center in the octagon by guys bigger than him. Coming up, McGregor shared a clip from 2020. Among all those tweets was also a clip from 2020, when McGregor was getting ready to fight Donald Cerrone at UFC 246. In that video, he also claimed to have sparred with a light heavyweight. He landed some great blows in that video though. He looked really tough and ready to take over. The best one was a punch combo that his sparring partner couldn't take and was sent a few steps backward because of the impact. And of course he deleted that video as well, but it was 2020. No one knows how fresh and ready he is to take over right now. He's really close to gaining full fitness now and will soon sign up for a fight after he has made a return to the US ADA drug testing in February. Dana White also recently revealed that he has no idea when McGregor will fight again or in which weight class, although he did say that before fighting anyone, he has to re-enter the doping agency testing pool for at least 6 months before fighting. But if he provides 2 negative drug tests, he'll be given an exemption. He's set to return to drug testing in February, and let's see after that how the situation unfolds for him. It might still be quite some time for him to make his way back into the octagon, so fans will have to wait a bit longer. Next up, fans think that he'll be a failure in the middleweight division. A lot of UFC fans weren't impressed after hearing what McGregor had to say about his future. Many fans think that the UFC won't allow him to jump 2 weight classes in the first place, considering his recent run of form. McGregor lost to Dustin Poirier twice, and also lost to Khabib, so this run of form won't do him any favors when he asks to change his weight class. Fans think that he should first fight in the welterweight division, come back to winning ways, and then make his way up to the middleweight division. But what if the UFC's ready to let him jump 2 2 weight classes. In that case, fans already have an opponent lined up for him in the shape of Anthony Smith. The two have had beef in the past, and a fight between the two makes sense. Smith also isn't scheduled for a fight yet in the upcoming year, so this is a perfect opportunity. Some think that McGregor will only fight once in the middleweight division, get destroyed, and then retire. But we think that's too harsh. No matter how bad his recent run of form has been, he's still one of the greatest fighters this sport has ever seen. He's a hard worker and a true world champion. We've seen him achieve many things in the past. Let's see if he can achieve this one or not. Now moving on to possible opponents Conor McGregor could face, starting with Tony Ferguson. McGregor fighting in the middleweight division is a long shot. So let's talk about some fights that are actually possible. First of all, Ferguson would be a great opponent for McGregor to make his return to the UFC. He's the former interim lightweight champion, and we think that he still has a lot to offer. Also, this is a fight that has been talked about for a long time now, but it's something that never happened. It's a surprise that both these superstars have never stepped into the octagon at the same time. 2017 was the perfect opportunity for them to take on each other when McGregor was the undisputed lightweight champion and Ferguson was the interim champion, but all is still not lost as Ferguson has no plans to retire. So it's the perfect time to schedule a fight between these two. Ferguson recently lost to Diaz in September, but there's still some time until McGregor can be ready to fight again. So this one's a possibility. Please make it happen, UFC. Let's look at Dustin Poirier. Again, yes. For those of you who think that this rivalry is settled and over, well, it's not. Yes, McGregor lost the last 2 fights between them, but he clearly wasn't happy after losing the 3rd fight. He said that Poirier's win was a fluke, and he's ready to take him on for the 4th time if the opportunity arises. And considering how big of a superstar McGregor is, we think that the UFC will hear what he has to say, and maybe, just maybe, we can see a fight between Poirier and McGregor once again. Poirier's the one who would need some convincing, but he's someone who never backs down from a challenge, and if the UFC makes the right offer, those two can step into the ring once again. Let's not forget about Max Holloway. Holloway and McGregor don't have the same rivalry as McGregor and Poirier, but the duo has fought before. They took on each other in 2014 when McGregor won via unanimous decision. Both fighters have come a long way since that match. McGregor had made history when he became the first fighter to hold 2 championships from 2 different weight classes at the same time. Holloway also placed his name with the UFC greats after having an impressive career and becoming one of the most ruthless champions in the history of featherweight. And this is why a rematch between the two is necessary. The world wants to see how well they can fight each other now after enjoying a great time in the octagon. Plus, both of them currently have no championships to their name. This one will be a huge event, maybe bigger than any championship fight taking place on the same night. Because UFC isn't only about championship fights, it's much more than that, and this fight will prove that to people. We're not sure who will win the fight, but it'll sure be a classic. Next up we have Jorge Masvidal. This is something that the world wants to see. This is something that we want to see. A lot of words have been exchanged between these two fighters in the past. Masvidal said a while back that McGregor will never accept a fight against him because he wants to stay relevant in the UFC. Indirectly, Masvidal said that he'll beat the out of McGregor, and we know McGregor. He'll never back down from a challenge. Now the ball's in the court of UFC. They must make this one happen so we can settle this debate once and for all. They have to make it happen for the fans. It might be an even bigger fight than McGregor versus Khabib, and it'll surely turn out to be one of the biggest PPV events in UFC history. This way, everyone involved can make some big bucks. It's a win-win situation for everyone. So what are you waiting for, UFC? Finally, Justin Gaethje. This is another fight that will potentially make headlines. Gaethje was recently defeated by Charles Oliveira, so he'll be looking to make a stronger comeback. And we all know that he's capable of doing that, and there's no one better for him to fight than a guy like McGregor. This is also a fight that never happened, but surely the one that we'd love to see. So if both of them decide to fight each other, hopefully no one will stand in the way of these two, and we'll finally be able to see Gaethje versus McGregor. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think McGregor will fight in the middleweight division? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.